Hello, dear students. I am Samir Velankar. I welcome all of you to this fifth video on functions in C. And let's see what are the types of functions. Now, basically, if you think of functions, functions can be broadly categorized into two types. Okay, those who know, I'm not talking about library functions and user defined functions. I'm talking about the other type of category of functions. Functions can be categorized as functions which which return a value. And the other type of function is functions which functions which do not return a value. Now you see that we wrote some in earlier videos. We wrote a square function in the very first video. In the third video, we wrote max function. We also had reciprocal function. Now recall all these functions, used to return some answer. Like we wrote int square. Check this. We wrote int square int x. I'm not writing the body of the function, what it does, but importantly, function returns int. So it is returning a value, isn't it? Or we wrote reciprocal, float, float x. So reciprocal is a function which returns a value, it returns float. But what if we write a function somewhat like this? Void, check this word, void, let's say draw. Draw is the function. And let's say float r is the radius of the circle, and the function has been written. We won't go into intricacies of what function does, but what kind of function is draw? You see, draw is the name of the function, and what is draw returning? Draw is returning void. Whenever a function has return type mentioned as void, then that function is said to be not returning any value, not returning a value. By the way, we have void is a dictionary word, actually English dictionary word. Void literally means nothing. I repeat, void means nothing. So what is draw returning? Draw is returning nothing. In all these functions like square, reciprocal, you saw that typically the last line of the function is return. Like in reciprocal we had return 1 upon x. In square we had return x into x. Coming back to this draw, which is a void function, in such function which is not returning any answer, you should not have a statement like return some value. You should not have this line. You should not write a statement called return. In fact, writing it will give an error because you are saying that draw will not return any value. Initially, I have seen over the years that when I teach this to my students, often students question and get confused. Is that what kind of function is this? If a function doesn't return any answer, then what's the use? Because initially when we learn about functions, we get into the act. It fits in our mind that functions must calculate something and return some answer. In case I say that I tell my friend that hello, I wrote a function today which does not return any answer, then what kind of function is it? What's the use? But strange, you will be surprised that the void functions, such functions which do not return any answer, are very useful in programming. In fact, most of the times you write a void function, and very less times you write function which returns a value. Very strange, isn't it? So we have seen the two categories, and we will see more about this void functions, why to write void functions, in which situations you should write void functions in C language. And I really tell you that it will be really very interesting discussion about void functions in the later videos. Thank you very much.